Ay, 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 ay. I had a hard time sleeping last night. As usual. Oh, my sleep pattern is jacked up right now. It's weird. The camera's like right here in front of me, but it looks like I'm looking this way. I gotta fix that. So I'm trying to look like you guys, but jeez. Anyways. Excuse my big arms. Honestly, I don't even care right now. So, nothing to be ashamed about because, at the end of the day, I'm a beautiful woman and I'm pregnant right now. I'm about to pop a month and a half. Plus, I'm not ashamed of my body right now because I could fix that later after I pop out my baby, and I'm not even trying to focus on losing weight right now. So, whoever got a problem with that can kiss my big ass, okay? So, anyways, I just want to say hey to my beautiful kings and hey to my beautiful black kings and queens out there. I appreciate those who have subscribed to my channel, that has been listening to my videos and understanding where I'm coming from, basically, because I'm just trying to bring awareness. I'm trying to bring awareness to people. Because you'd be surprised how many things like that we don't know what's really going on, that not only affects us but affects like the outside world that we're not a part of in the USA. So me personally, I was trying to tell someone, like, we were talking about how like a lot of like Africans tend not to like Black Americans, and this is a disclaimer. This is like no disrespect. Like, I'm just talking from my personal experience, and I'm talking about other people's personal experiences. Okay. I love all people, and I love Africa. I always did, and I love all shades. Okay. I love all shades. Africans, they're very intelligent people, and but I'll just speak from my own experience, and I do honestly, believe it or not, I do want to visit a few times, and if I feel comfortable enough, I might end up moving out there, in the future. So, but anyways, let's get back to what I was gonna say. So a lot of people, we have a discussion, and this is just not even I said that. There's a lot of people, even people like um Professor James Small said the same thing. Who else? Um, a lot of other people, even people that live up there, have spoke about it. So I think it's because, okay, let me start off right here. A lot of people from Africa, they didn't really know what us as Black Americans were going through, and there's like interviews of them discussing like topics about their experience there and our experience here, and I can kind of understand like how it's like two different worlds, because it is like, so a lot of them in Africa are doing pretty well for themselves, and there's a lot of people in Africa that are doing horribly, because due to the lack of resources and they're being mistreated. They don't have any medical resources. There's innocent young women and young men that are being violated out there, and it's sad. Like, a lot of them are living outside in like tents, or they don't have no houses or foundation. They don't really have access to buy houses. Some of them, a lot of them are getting robbed. Um, Even in nice neighborhoods that are out there, believe it or not, there's a lot of nice places in Africa. Gorgeous. It's some of them look like kind of like California. Some of them look like New York. So it's not always it's not always this bad image that they portray, but let's keep it real. You know where a lot of those charity funds went to? It went to the oppressor, okay? It went to the oppressor, the enemy, you know. So you put two and two together. Africa right now, especially in Congo, is being colonized. And don't blame it on all on the black governor and the black mayor and everything there. We can, but we're gonna get down to the source here. So all you guys that wanna brag about your iPhone and rank people that don't have iPhone, that don't represent iPhone, and don't care about having an iPhone, and think you're better because you have an iPhone, why don't you figure out and learn where that material for the iPhone is coming from? Do you really know where that material from iPhone is coming from? Do you know where all the gold and the diamonds and all this material that you beg for, that you think you're better, is coming from? Gold and diamonds are a majority of the gold and diamonds we should know by now, comes from Africa. Okay? And the material that you guys brag about for iPhones comes from Africa. It comes from Congo specifically, more than anything. Okay? Which is Africa. And the thing is, right, this even gets worse. But you know, if you have a heart, you would go on a boycott. If you have a heart, you would make a difference and try to fight for them. Me personally, if I could, trust me, I would. I most definitely would. I have to work on getting my passport and getting my finances together in order for me to do that, because I've never honestly been on a plane. So instead of me spending thousands and thousands of dollars going to these concerts, I'm not worried about no damn concert. Like, that's not my priority. You want to brag about spending thousands of dollars on a concert? How's that benefiting you? How is going to a concert benefiting you? If you're rich and you're able to afford that, that's fine. But I'm trying to focus on reality right now. When reality hits and it's affecting, you know what I'm saying, my people, and it's affecting babies and children, that's when you hit the line. That's when you draw the line right there. That's when you cross the line. That's when you just like, I'm not worried about no Beyonce. I'm not worried about no Jay-Z. I'm not worried about no Blueface. I'm not worried about no Chrisean. I'm not worried about any of these, Tyla, whatever her name is, the Water song. I'm not worried about all these, like, I'm not infatuated, like, with these celebrities and artists right now. That's all distraction. Okay, let's get down to the root of the problem. Let's focus on real problems. Is Beyonce supporting us? Is Beyonce paying our bills? Is Jay-Z paying our bills? Are they building up black schools? Are they fixing the problems that's going in the black community? Do they really care about us while we building up their legacy? What about our legacy? Are they solving real problems? I don't know. I know they do charities behind the scenes and everything, but that's another thing. A lot of these charities that we're donating to is going to the oppressor, the enemy. You put two and two together. That's where it's going to. What about all that money that people donated and everything, and those houses that they built? Yeah, some of them may have be. I've heard that some, I think it was what's his name? The one that was married to Angela Jolie. What's his name? Not Tom Cruise. I forgot his name. Anyways, the guy that was married to Angela Jolie, I think something they were saying that he built these houses in Africa supposedly. And the foundation of the houses weren't that good. It was like cheap material. I don't know. It looked expensive. It looked decent, but I guess it wasn't. I don't know. There's a lot of issues with that. I can't remember. Damn, I can't believe I forgot his name. So yeah. Anyways, I mean, I know that Oprah Winfrey built a school out there, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if they're being protected. You know, I don't know how that's going. Um, you know, so and it's sad because a lot of us don't really know what's going on, and they're not gonna tell you. You know what I'm saying? The only reason why we're finding out this information because there's black people out there that's representing for their people that's from America that are able, that are educated enough and knowledgeable enough and financially capable enough of representing for them and supporting them and speaking up for them and that have a voice, you know. So right now I gotta focus on my problems right now. And then boom. You know? So but trust me, when I get the opportunity to fight for everyone and that's important and stuff like that. And it's like people like, oh, why you gotta make it a race thing? First of all, let me tell you this. If you don't get it right now, if you don't get it by now, then you may not ever get it. Because if you personally never been black, you being with a black man and you having biracial children is not the same thing. It's a totally night and day experience, okay? If you personally never lived in a ghetto and you never lived on the street, trust me, I lived in the ghetto. I lived in the streets. I lived in a nice neighborhood. I've been through all different varieties of life. So that's why I thank God for my experiences because it kind of made me see all different aspects of life. So I know how it is to live in the ghetto. I know how it is to live in the hood. I've been in the trenches. I've been in the trap houses. I've been in prison. I got into fights. I've been racially profiled. I've been through police brutality. I've been called the N word. I've been, yeah, I've been racially profiled on my job. Like so many things. I went through so many things, and I'm 35 years old. So can you imagine? Oh yeah, and in the USA, you know. And I've been denied jobs when I qualified. I've been denied resources when I qualified. I've been denied so many things. I had to fight and advocate multiple times. I had to basically speak up for myself and check them just to make a point and get to where I'm at right now by myself. Like, you know, a lot of people didn't help me. And I wasn't, it's not, no, when I say a lot of people, I'm like, you know, I see a lot of people that have support. I see a lot of people that have their parents bust their behinds to make sure that their kids get into college and, get good jobs as a, what do they call it? Damn, the word's right there on top of my tongue. Intern at these big huge marketing companies. So a lot of people just don't even realize how blessed they are. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong, I'm grateful for where I'm at right now because it could be worse, and I'm grateful for what I have. But the sad thing about this is that when we're trying to speak up for the real problems and you guys try to ignore that and you guys try to say that we're not going through anything, that's being very very biased. You're being blind to what's really going on because you're not personally experiencing it yourself. Excuse me. You never all these you never actually experienced this yourself or are going through this yourself or been in this particular situation, so you don't understand. You think that, yeah, slavery, my ancestors that were enslaved in slavery was a horrific situation. Yes, we have came a long way. No doubt in my mind. But is not, it may have gotten a tiny bit, I would say probably like 25% better, but it could be way better. That's what I'm trying to say. And let's not ignore the truth. Let's not ignore the truth, because the truth is that, like I said in my previous videos, is that they're not giving credit to a lot of black people, even before slavery, okay? They're not giving credit to them for the things that, the accomplishments and the achievements and the amazing things that they have done in this country, this whole world, pretty much. And they have done things. My ancestors have done things in Scotland, Ireland, whatever you want to call it, Australia, Japan, China, Greece, Italy, Rome. Where else? Antarctica, if I'm not mistaken. And when I can't remember where else, but I'm gonna find out, because I'm ordering some books. But well, they I'm gonna get to this Congo thing in a second, because it's really crazy. They are, oh yeah, a lot of them have invented things, and they took the credibility. They took the credibility for inventing things. If I'm not mistaken, Popeye's chicken. I heard that a black woman created that recipe, and the CEO and the CEO and the person that owns the business is a I think it was a white woman and a white man, if I'm not mistaken. So they're promoting this Popeye's chicken, and then Popeye's chicken, you're finding out all these disgusting things that's going on behind the scenes, and people want to get on me because I don't like Popeye's chicken. Like, something about it had made me sick. The flavor is good, but if I'm getting sick, that's God trying to tell me something. Like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all can eat that. Y'all can eat that. They target things that black people love. They know we love chicken. They know we love watermelon. You know what I'm saying? They know what we love, so they gonna target those things, So, but anyways, back to this. So yeah, there's a lot of people that have invented things. That is crazy. My enslaved ancestors have invented a lot of inventions that are here today. Okay, we talked about this before in my previous videos. The elevator, the clock. Wait, they invented the clock. That was before they became enslaved. The clock. Doorknobs, countertops. The list goes on. There's so many things. So many things. There's probably so many things that I don't even know about right now. They found out that the black man was the one that invented the light bulb. When they say helped with them doing things, that means they did it. So yeah, the black man invented the light bulb. What else? So yeah, so what I was trying to say is that the reason why this is a big deal is that they took credibility for what they did. They lied on, they wouldn't give black people patents. They give them a hard time. They took their ideas, took credit for it, but thankfully God was paying attention and other people was paying attention, and a lot of those things got documented. But there was people that was supposed to get reparations after slavery. I think Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass wrote a bill for that to happen, but they found out that Abraham Lincoln didn't even want to free the slaves. Okay, and they got mad at Frederick Douglass for wanting to give black people reparations. But it's like we can't get, they try to bash Frederick Douglass, but we can't bash him, because first of all, he did try to fight for us. Yes, he was one of the richest black men, and I forgot what part of the world he lived in. I forgot where he lives. I have his book actually. I gotta read it. we can't bash him. They try to make him look bad, and make people mad, angry at him. But he actually did try to fight for us. But we have to understand that he was put in a kind of like crazy position. He's a biracial man, even though he didn't know his father. He's biracial. They probably used that against him, and he was once a slave, so he freed himself. You know, he escaped from slavery himself, and he was an awesome, intelligent author, okay, and writer. So in Bookkeeper, so they used his skills for that, and he was a great assistant. And so he had, once he had his wife and kids and everything, I think they kind of put the pressure. They put the pressure on him and saying, if you don't like change what you're saying here, and if you don't do this and you don't do that, then we're gonna take everything from you and you go back to slavery. So it probably created some type of fear in him, and like we don't really know, like, you know what I'm saying, unless we read into it, we don't really know what happened behind closed doors. So don't always believe what the oppressor or the media is feeding you, you know, because we're starting to learn a lot of things throughout time that they lied about a lot of things, you know, like the Christopher Columbus was discovering the world and everything. Like this guy said, it was so funny, Dr. Ben, God rest his soul, Dr. Yusuf Ben, I can't pronounce his last name. He was like, he's like, how you get a whole month for getting lost? Like you representing this man, and you gave him a whole month just for getting lost. That was hilarious. And this is like back in 1990 when he did this, and we just started finding out the truth about that. So I was cracking up, yo. They gave him a whole month just for getting lost. Oh my god. So anyways, they still got Christopher Columbus month to this day, yo. So anyway, back to the serious situation. So we have to be grateful for the things that we have, because we really don't pay attention to where it's coming from. Like I knew, like, you know what I'm saying, gold and diamonds mostly came from Africa, and I seen some things on TV that they have showcased. Like they made it seem like black people were the black Africans that are in Africa currently were the enemies by pointing guns at people that I keep getting notifications. Pointing guns at people that were working in the mines, digging the gold and stuff like that, to make sure that they didn't steal anything. So yeah, if they stole any type of gold or diamonds, they will get unalived. So unfortunately, but this is the most serious problem here. There are children. And my screenshot is gonna say 6 years old. They're younger than that. There's children and babies that are 3 years old and 4 years old working in these mines, digging up material for iPhones for you selfish mother effers. Do you not understand how sick that is? They trying to blame it on the black governor over there. I think she's a woman. They're trying to blame it on her, but at the end of the day, who's really supporting all this? You know, who's really supporting all this? This been going on. This been going on for before a lot of us right now have been born. Okay. If you don't believe me, I'm gonna try to find the link and you look into it yourself. I'm gonna put the link in the description. I mean, not the description box. So I'm gonna put it in the comments, and you look into it yourself. If you guys don't want to believe the truth because you don't care about the truth, okay? So back to this situation. There's a lot of people out here really trying to live a decent life where they don't have to worry about their kids something happening to the kids when they go to school, when they go on the bus, when they go out into that outside world and see how crooked it is, and deal with like police brutality or whatever the case may be. Is this situation ever gonna get solved? Maybe if it happens to you, then you'll be really upset. I think that's when people start getting upset and making changes, when it affects them personally. You know, I notice that a lot of people that don't care, that have the position to make a change, that don't make a change, they don't care unless it happens to them. Like, that's not how we do things. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's not how we should do things. Um, I feel like no matter what your race is, if you notice that something's not right, and if you think that the way that another race is being treated is acceptable, then that's very sad. I don't care how you was raised. I don't care what you heard. I don't care. What makes your race any better? Like, to be honest, um, does that make you? Does that mean that you're? Is it a jealousy thing? Do you really think that all black people are disgusting and dirty and scary? I don't know what you guys think, to be honest, but I'm just asking. What is the problem? I really can't, as much as I know and as much as I've seen, as much as I've been through, I still can't grasp my mind around this whole racist hate crime thing. I'm still trying to make sense of it. Um, it still doesn't make any sense to me how someone could really hate someone so much because of the color of their skin. I just don't understand it. I just don't get it. Um, it's mind blowing to me. Um, you know what? When I was a little girl, I would look at my hands and I'm thinking like, okay, I'm part white because my hands are white, and I want my eyes to be blue and everything, you know. But then as I got older, I'm like, I'm all set. I'm all set. I'd rather just be me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, people think that, you know, I even had like white men compliment my eyes. They're not blue or green or anything, but I had white men just randomly say, like, you have beautiful eyes. And so it's like, you know, that made me feel good, you know. But at the same time, I'm not aiming for a certain type of perfection anymore. I do want to even my skin tone because my skin got like 3 different shades to it, um, but I could do that by exfoliating my skin, you know. So not bleaching it. I could do it the natural way. There's a natural way to do it, even in your skin tone. But this color that you see on the screen is my color. I get lighter in the wintertime. I get darker in the winter. I get lighter in the wintertime and I get darker in the summer. That's common for a lot of black people. But and I'm not ashamed of that. But I don't want to be looking like a dang who did an Iran type thing. You know what I'm saying? I got my legs out. They're lighter than my whole top body type thing. You know what I'm saying? But it's not about that. At the end of the day, I just saying, like, love yourself, embrace yourself. We should all try to come together, love each other. Don't be like one way one day, and then be another thing the next day. Like, I respect people that's consistent. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing that I said I was gonna work on this year, even though it's almost coming to an end. I'm gonna work on consistency, and then next year I'm definitely gonna work on consistency. Um, because I respect people that I have mentioned. They have been consistent. A lot of these people that's representing for the black people that's like on these platforms, um, they they honestly had a different upbringing than me. They had some of them had better upbringing. Some of them had better role models. A lot of them had a lot of them had better connections to to people in the industry. Um, so yeah, a lot of them were blessed to meet people in the industry to get to where they're at, but they did that on their own by being who they are. But the point I'm trying to make is that some people, like me, for example, I live in a small town. So there's not much opportunity where I live at, you know? So yeah, I met celebrities, but it's not like they were like, you know what I'm saying? They were just like, they're from my hometown or whatever. So, I mean, there is some celebrities that's from my hometown. I think Kyrie Irving is from Connecticut, if I'm not, New London, Connecticut, if I'm not mistaken. But, and I know Cassie is from New London, Connecticut, and she moved to New York. So, in New York is like real close to me, but that's besides the point. Like, some people are not allowed to have an opportunity. Yeah, you could say just move. Is it that simple? Is it that simple? Because some people can't just move. Some people have like kids out here that they gotta look out for. Some people got um family out here that they gotta look out for. Some people got a job that they don't want to lose or jeopardize losing. There's a whole bunch of things. You know, it's not always that simple to just like pack up and go. Like you have to take your time. If you've never been in that state before, you have to take your time and do your research, investigate, find out what works best for you and your children. If you do end up moving your children with you, it doesn't happen overnight. You should never rush into a situation that you don't even know what you're getting yourself into. You know, is proper planning prevents poor performances. So we have to remind ourselves about that. So, but hopefully, um, like this video will bring. I hope and pray that this video brings awareness to a lot of people out there that don't know about this, and I hope and pray that people will just like try to have some remorse, be more in like empathy and take accountability if they are responsible for this, or just like even if you're not, just like try to have some empathy. I hope and pray that we're able to fix this issue, because for anyone to think, I don't care if he's white, black, purple, whatever, I don't care what color or race he is. This could be happening to a baby in China. This could be happening to a baby in Italy. I don't care where in the world it is or who it is. Okay? But that's the problem. I think that's what the problem is. A lot of people that's outside of the black race, they don't care if they see a baby digging for gold and material for their iPhone, just as long as they get that iPhone. That's what's really sad to me. And then the thing is that a lot of parts in Africa that's like in these type of situations, they're so used to it. They're so used to it. And these babies that are 4 or 3 years old are diving deep into water in these holes like you can't even see through. And they have to hold their breath for a long time. It's very sad. And another thing, I forgot what else to say. It's dangerous. You know what I'm saying? There's people out there that's working in these warehouses, and you wanna bash people that's working in the warehouses like you better than them. Do you understand the sacrifices that they make? A lot of them can lose their life. Those machines are dangerous. Those machines are dangerous. There's people that had to do a boycott for working for the Nestle company, $1 billion company. They almost lost their lives. They weren't getting paid enough. It was crazy, yo. And they were trying to threaten them and saying that they're gonna cut off these resources, and they're paying this lady paying like $400 a month at the time, and she was comfortable with that, even though her check was only $700 a week, for her family to have good insurance. And then now her insurance went up to like $600 a month. It's crazy. Like we can't even make enough to survive, to live comfortably. I was working back way before COVID. I think in around 2016. I was working 4 jobs. I worked full time in the morning at a nursing home doing dishes and dietary aid needs. Then I was working third shift at Walmart. And then I was working as a cashier or third shift at Walmart. And then I met this lady who had her own private business. That was a nurse. And I worked for this guy who has CPOD, and he lived like far from me. But I still went there once in a blue, like twice a week. And I took care of him for a few hours a day, got paid under the table, you know. And then what else did I do? Oh yeah, then I did like Lyft on the weekends, and that's when I would spend time with my son on the weekends and whatever. But yeah, that still wasn't enough. I was able to get certain things and whatever, but it still wasn't enough. Like, because technically, I was just working two jobs. You know, I was just doing extra hours on the side. That almost died actually. Doing that, and my coworker said, "You're gonna die if you keep doing that." I was like, "I'll be all right." Yeah, I don't recommend that to anybody. But I'm just saying, can you imagine like two people working in the household and it's still not enough? And that was back then. And you guys are complaining about right now? Like, yeah. So can you imagine like how it was back then? And then you want to be like, wow, gas was like 50 cents back then, and this was da, da, da. But they still didn't have a lot of access to resources. You failed to realize that after when they were released from slavery and the Jim Crow law happened, a lot of them, even though black people was excelling in the Black Wall Street, and they only did it within 10 year a 10-year frame, and they excelled in 10 years, and a lot of them, they're like, wow, how did you guys do this when you guys don't even know how to read? They had their own business and stuff like that. They were excelling. They shut all that down. And there was other people that didn't have connections to that type of opportunity, that didn't know how to read, didn't have any type of skills, because it was all taken from them. So, and then a lot of teachers to this day were not educating the children when it came to reading. So there's a lot of black children that's failing in reading and things like that. And I can kind of relate to that. So I believe it. You know, I've been through that myself. They'll be in the classroom, but they won't interact with them. They'll interact with every other child but them. And they could give them resources by tutoring or whatever the case may be, but they don't. It's a personal. They're doing it on purpose. It's part of the system. So if my ancestors and my grandparents and all this other stuff had struggled with education, my father actually struggled with education, but even though he couldn't understand, he wasn't good at reading and writing, he was a very intelligent man. He had a very good high paying job that worked for the government. I mean, for the military. He was in the military, but he worked for that part. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say exactly where, but he was a welder. Okay, so even though he didn't know how to do this and that, that just goes to show how fresh this is. Okay, if he didn't know how to read, why is that? He was well spoken, but they know that reading is the essential power to knowledge. You know, it's kind of sad. Like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't even know my dad didn't know how to read until, well, I do remember, you know what I'm saying, I was trying to help him with that, but he was sick and he didn't want to be bothered with that. But honestly, people want to be making fun of the Hooked on Phonics. Hooked on Phonics was what helped me with my grammar, helped me how to pronunciate things and everything. I'm not ashamed. I loved Hooked on Phonics. Hooked on Phonics got me to where I needed to be. I didn't need no teacher. I was my own teacher. Okay. You know what I'm saying? You know, there's things I need to work on. I have a hard time pronouncing some words or whatever, but I don't care. I'm not ashamed of that. And, you know, and everybody thinks they're so perfect, you know, and that's the problem. That's the problem. Like, I don't honestly think I'm better than nobody, because if I did, I wouldn't be making these videos talking about my own personal experience, now would I? No. Because that's the problem. My life is like an open book. I have no shame in my game. I have nothing to hide. The reason why I talk about my own personal experience and put my vulnerability out there is because I want people to know that they're not alone. There's nothing to be ashamed about. The more that we embrace the truth, the more that we accept the truth, and the more that we make changes is going to impact the world. Okay? We have to get that. We have to take accountability. There's a lot of parents out there that are not doing their job as parents. They're not really taking the time to read books to the children. They want their kids to act bad, thug, ratchet, whatever they think is cute. And the black teachers that really care to educate them, and their kids are acting up. You ain't my mama. Don't tell me what to do. Cutting up. And then they talk to the mother or the father, and the father don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not representing us any better. You know, to be honest, like, it's not cute. Like, you should want your kids to do better, because the more that you entertain that ratchet and thuggish behavior when they're kids, guess what? Unfortunately, your kid has the high opportunity to end up in jail, end up on drugs, end up on the streets. Is that what you want for your children? Is that the kind of future that you want for your children? Don't you, even if you've been through it yourself, wouldn't you want better for your child? Like, you know what I'm saying? So put your selfish, ignorant ways to the side. And, you know, this not going to all people, but I seen it myself, you know, and it's still happening to this day, you know, where, you know, we just need to work on that. So, you know, we need to take accountability and recognition for that. So we got to do better. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not bashing, you know, anyone. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, we got, in order for us to make better changes, especially if you want these reparations so you could live in a good life, we gotta all come together. You know what I'm saying? And we gotta help. We gotta help Africa. Because if it wasn't for Africa, we wouldn't be right here with all these things that we have today. Okay? Africa changed the world. The one that you guys itched on, talking about we're zoo animals, jumping on trees and branches and stuff, swinging from tree to tree, and we're ugly, and our lips are big, and our nose is wide, and all these things, like, you know what I'm saying, they made fun of Sarah Barton. Like, she had a big butt. They turned her into this stripper / prostitute. They raped her, and sorry, forgive me, I'm gonna say raped her, and killed her children that she was pregnant with. They did her dirty. And that was like way before our time. You know what I'm saying? Way before our time. Like, if you don't know who Sarah Barton is, like, I think Bartman, I think that's how you say her name. I know her last name is spelled, I think, Baartman. I think that's how you spell it. Yo, she had a beautiful body. They were infatuated. These European men were infatuated by her body. Okay? If they weren't, then why would they do that? You know what I'm saying? But that's not the way you treat a woman. You know what I'm saying? And look, a lot of women wish they had that big butt. You know? The big old wagon. Like, you see those grandmas with the big old wagon in the back, look like a shelf. Like, that's funny. It's funny when I see that. Like, it's so funny. But God rest her spirit, and Henrietta Lacks, God rest her spirit and her soul. I pray they have peace and they rest in power, you know, I really do. So yeah, I mean, Emmett Till, God rest him, and what's his name? Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot this little boy's name. Wow. He was very young. He got executed and put on the death penalty for a crime that he didn't even commit. This is years ago. I forgot his name. Oh, forgive me for that. I'm gonna try to remember their names, but yeah, God rest his spirit and his soul too. But I wasn't really trying to make this a long video. I was just trying to, like, I'm just tired of this. Like, you know, I found out about this the other day. And, but people are starting to, more and more people are starting to talk about it and address it. And I thank God for that, because that's how we make moves. And you know what's really sad is that people's been talking about this for years. for years, like 30 years or more. And unfortunately, sometimes they don't want the word to get out. And especially if we don't have a big network and whatever. And I noticed that a lot of these platforms, they promote racist videos, and they support colorism. And it's kind of sad, like, that you're supporting that and they don't get in trouble, but for the people that speak up for themselves, that don't have a big following in the comments, they get reported. And that's what's very sad about everything, that people think it's funny. What if the other shoot? What if it was the other way around? Oh yeah, and that's another thing. They want to talk about. They want to point the fingers on black people and say that we put ourselves in this position, that the first that the first slave masters were black. But if you really do your research, you will understand and learn that they didn't treat us the way that they treated us. They took it too far. Like, they took it to extreme. And somebody said, it wasn't about race back then. It wasn't about race. Like, listen, if you're not black and you don't have any ancestors that were black and personally went through that, you can't talk about it. You can't speak for us. And it's funny. Oh yeah, another thing. A lot of white people are starting to realize that some of their ancestors were slaves. And that's when they really try to, that's when they really start to open up their heart and be like, whoa. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's when they start to have some type of empathy. Like, whoa. Like, I didn't even know that. You know, some of them didn't know. You know what I'm saying? Some of them didn't know. Because that's how the whole interracial. That's how the whole biracial thing came about. That's how the whole light-skinned slave came about, you know? So, but like Frederick Douglass, his father didn't claim him for a reason, you know. So, because if they did, if a white man was proud to be with a black woman, that's how you would see like pictures of white men being lynched and things like that, or held in captivity. A lot of times is because or a woman, because they would support a black person, or they're part of the Underground Railroad. And for anyone that's saying the Underground Railroad was a lie and was the whole other thing, don't believe that. That's they're trying to cause confusion. So, Dane Calloway, he's trying to cause confusion with his conspiracy theories and make up lies, okay? So, if you believe that BS, then I feel sorry for you. But, yeah, so that's I hope I address everything that I needed to address in this video and made a valid point. Because enough is enough. Once you hurt the babies, man, the babies, I don't care if it's down the street. I don't care where it is. It could be in China. I don't care what race. I don't care. Once you affect the babies, man, you got them busting their. Oh yeah, another thing I'm forgot to mention. You know how much these babies make a day? They make $1 an hour. $1 an hour. You know how many hours they work a day? Sometimes 12. And we're complaining about all this other stuff, you know, saying that we don't get paid much. Well, you know, wow. These babies, the youngest that they discover that working on these mines are 3 to 4 years old. Getting paid $1 an hour. Sometimes they don't get paid that. They're not eating. They're not taking no breaks. They're not being well nourished, you know? And y'all think that's funny? Y'all think that's funny that there's black people and black children going through this? That's what pisses me off. Y'all think that's funny. Like, there's nothing funny about that. Like, you know what I'm saying? If I was a white person and I seen black people going through this, I don't care how racist my grandfather or whatever, my grandmother is or whatever. If I had a heart, you know what I'm saying? And I seen that. Because you're not born racist. You're just raised that way. You know, you create yourself to be that way. So, let's get that out the bag right there. But if I was on the other side, other way, in another world, because I believe that everyone lives in their own world, and I seen that, like, I'm not gonna think anything's funny about that. If I was capable to help that child, trust me, I will help that child. If I had like $5 in my pocket, I would sacrifice $4 and give that child that $4. I have done it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd rather starve and go broke and support someone. I remember one time when I was in Virginia, there's this black young lady, and I gave her $20 just randomly. Something told me to give her 20. She cried. That's what I knew that, okay, it was for a reason. She cried. You know what I'm saying? I'm over there living on the streets. This lady, she was on the streets, and I was on the streets, and I just gave her $10. Like, here you go. She didn't even ask for it. I just said, here you go. You know what I'm saying? Like, just stuff like that. Like, you don't receive your blessings if you're not giving, but you have to give it with your heart, to those who really deserve it. To those who really deserve it and can make a difference with it. There's people out there that don't deserve it. There's people out there that's ungrateful. And, what we need to do is build, oh yeah, it's so crazy? There's this program out here that helps people get jobs, but they don't really help. They only help certain people. And it's a shame because I was working with them. I was working with them for a very long time, and they never helped me. And I'm trying to get in contact with my caseworker. I barely heard from her for months and months. I'm calling her. She's never answering the phone, leaving voicemails. These resources that they're providing, they don't care. They don't care. They're not helping nobody, yo. It's sad. It's very sad. Then when I call them out on it and whatever, and that's when they did something about it. It took me over a year. Wait, one more thing I had to say. Damn. Yeah, it's long. People need to. Oh yeah, that's what we need to do. We need to invest into put in security systems and metal detectors in the schools. Like I said before in my previous video, cameras with audio inside the classroom, outside the classroom. We need to build more resourceful resources when it comes to rehab for those who are alcoholic, drug addicts, whatever, therapy. What else they need? Oh, shelters for men and women. Okay, men and women, not just women, men and women. Just like try to help them get to where they need to be. I don't know. Thank you. Hopefully, someone that has more access to things and resources and has a higher position than me is able to see this video or hear about this situation that's going on and make a change. Like, I wish I could and I can't. But I hope and pray I'm able to get into that position where I can. And it's not just about myself. It's about everyone, that is black. I'm focusing on black people because we go through it the worst, whether people want to admit it or not. So, because if I don't even help myself and my own kind, what am I doing? You know what I'm trying to say? And they're bashing the double NA. How you say it? NAACP. They're bashing them because they're not really. They used to do their job. Now they're not doing their job. So, oh yeah, I wanted to say a prayer. Like, I hope and pray whoever's watching this or whoever's not watching this, but I just want to put this prayer out there that whoever is suffering right now, financially, mentally, going through substance abuse, or that's currently homeless, or struggling with their kids, trying to make ends meet, struggling with financial resources, or that's trying to become more stable in life. I pray that they prosper. I pray that they get the resources that they need. I pray that they get the recognition they need. I pray whatever they're lacking in, that God will provide. And I pray that they get the support that they need. I pray that we learn to stop hating each other and come together as one, and learn that we're just one human race, where there's no race better than the other race. There's no person better than the other person, no matter what position you are in life. Don't think that just because you got there easily, that everyone else can get there easily. Don't think that every person is the same, and don't put every person in the same category. Don't base your experiences and make it seem like everyone can prosper through your experiences. There's certain parts of the world that is harder to get access to resources, harder to get access to opportunities. And there's a lot of people that's not capable of driving. There's a lot of people that's not capable of commuting. There's a lot of places and towns where the buses don't run all day, every day for hours and hours on end. There's a lot of companies and companies out here that don't have all different shifts. There's a lot of stores and places out here that are closing early. Okay? They're making it hard for people to survive on purpose. Okay? So they can support the war of destroying a beautiful nation. Israel is a beautiful country. They have the right to defend themselves. I don't care what they say. I don't care what they say about Israel. I really don't care about the negative things that they say. It does not make it right. There's innocent children that's dying. There's innocent people that's dying. That's been happening for too long. And they're proud of it. They're proud of it. I hope and pray that they open their eyes and and recognize the damage that they have caused. I pray that they apologize. I pray that they have some more remorse and empathy and sympathy for the damage that they have caused to those innocent babies and children. That's why a lot of these veterans come back and they suffer from PTSD or all these mental issues. They're not the same. They've seen too much. They've done too much. They made too many cruel decisions that they were forced to do. Okay? The system is all messed up. Stop focusing on things that doesn't matter right now. For your own selfish needs and gains, okay? You want to talk about you want to protect this country. Why don't you focus on fixing this country? Okay? Fixing. If the more you fix it, the more you can make it change and make it better and protect it even better, okay? You guys don't want to tell everything that's going on behind closed doors. And I pray that the enemy gets exposed. I pray that everyone that has caused more damage than good gets held accountable. And I pray that the people that's going through the struggle gets out of the struggle. I pray that the people that's going through the suffering gets out of the suffering. And I pray that there's better food resources. I pray that they clean the food and stop poisoning the food. I pray that they clean the waters and stop poisoning the waters. And the list goes on and on and on. And Almighty High, I pray. Thank you. Thank you.